Welcome to the Valley Hoops Insider podcast, part of the Valley Hoops Insider website. I'm Schroeder, editor of the site, host of the show, and that good-looking young man next to me there is Camp Wagner. He is Indiana State basketball player and a guy that came back in this portal pandemic era of so many players moving from one place to the next. He's one of the rare ones staying home, so to speak, at the same university he was at coming into the offseason. We'll talk about all of that and some of his background as we get through the conversation today. But Camp, first, just thanks for joining us today. Where do we find you on this April afternoon?
Pretty uneventful day. We had our last spring workout yesterday. So today I just had a weight session, and that's really it.
You came from, you grew up in Texas, playing high school basketball in Texas, ended up at Link Year Academy, then Rice, then Indiana State. You've been on a journey. How did you end up first at Rice? Tell me about that process.
Yeah, so I graduated high school in Dallas, and then I did a post-grad year at Link Academy, like you said. And the recruitment there was weird because when you're in the prep circuit, coaches are kind of, well, first of all, I was kind of like unknown going into Link. So my recruitment really started at the beginning of like the fall semester of my season, I guess. And so it's weird because a lot of schools are kind of in their season already for basketball. So they're not heavy recruiting and like having a ton of visits or anything. So Coach Russ Pennell, he saw me at Link, and he actually talked to me from like September all the way through March. And finally, they just had a couple roster spots open up with the portal. And I knew if that happened, that's where I wanted to end up, just being close to home and a good academic situation. But yeah.
How did you end up at Link? You, like you said, you graduated. You were maybe feeling like people hadn't noticed you yet, so you thought Link would be a good combination, a good situation for you?
Yeah, for sure. So I was kind of a late bloomer. I grew later in high school, not only height-wise, but also just physically and strength, athleticism, all that. And so Link, I grew up going to a summer camp called Kanakuk, which is actually like, it's not like the partner program with Link, but it's on the same campus. Like if you know what Link is, you're going to know what Kanakuk is. And
Right.
So I knew Adam Donier, the guy who started Link, founded that, and also Jordan Grant, who's the post-grad coach. And so whenever I went to summer camp, they had seen me work out with them, and they were like, hey, like if you want to come up here, get another year of development, we'd love to have you.
Adam's a friend of mine, and I said to him, I'm going to be talking to Camp Wagner. Do you have a question that I should ask him? And Adam said that I should ask you if you think you're the best shooter ever at Link Year Academy.
There's some good guys to go through there, but I think I'd put myself up there as a shooter. You got to have that confidence.
Tell me about that year at Link. I've talked to a number of guys that have gone through there, and as I mentioned, I know Adam fairly well. Talk about, it's a really different kind of an elite prep school program, isn't it?
For sure. Yeah. The facility is there, and the coaches are definitely top tier especially the post-grad circuit. But yeah, I loved Branson because I grew up kind of going there. So for me, I know for some guys, it's kind of an adjustment to go live in Branson, Missouri, and kind of live quote unquote in the woods in some ways. But I mean, I loved it. And the curriculum up there was kind of focused on biblical studies, which I also really enjoyed. And I grew up strong in my own Christian faith. So that was fun for me as well.
And then you make the move to Indiana State from Rice. How did you end up with the Sycamores?
So last year at Rice, we had a pretty tough season, and our coach ended up getting let go. So a lot of the dudes in the team transferred. And so I entered the portal, and I didn't play a ton at Rice. So I didn't have much new interest that I didn't have out of high school. Kind of the same schools that were recruiting me out of post-grad were hitting me back up. So Coach Graves, when I saw that he got the job, he and Coach Furr had really recruited me out of Link. And actually Coach Celeste too, when he got hired to be the associate head coach here, he also knew me from Link. He actually recruited my roommate, Chris Loof, up there. So I knew him a little bit, and they called me, and I just thought it'd be a great fit because I loved my visit when I came up here. My one reservation at the time was just being away from home, but yeah, I got over that. And I mean, I really loved it this year.
Had an outstanding year there, 10 points a game, and I think 31 in one of the last games near the end of the season, and really kind of emerged as the season progressed. And then now it's portal season, and 2,500 college players are in the portal You're not one of them. What went into your decision to stick around Terre Haute?
I think the biggest thing for me was the coaching staff. So coming out of Rice to Indiana State, I was hurt pretty bad, like nothing like structural, but I had really, really bad like knee tendonitis. So I was out all summer, and then some of the fall. So I honestly, when I came back, I was just not the player that I thought I could be and thought I was. But the coaches, they stuck with me and they really showed their belief in me, and that really meant a lot to me. And like Coach Graves said, he always had a vision for me and saw what I could be. And so it's like to see that work out, especially towards the end of the season, was really encouraging for me, especially just with how much the coaches stuck with me through the summer and first part of the season as well. And so, yeah, I'm really excited about next year because I feel like it's kind of going off subject, but I feel like I'm at a good place now where I can continue to grow on with where I'm at.
And talk about the season. What I mean is, Brent, the coaching staff was new-ish, meaning, Coach had left, and Coach Graves takes over, and Josh Schertz leaves, and Graves takes over. So, but some of the same coaches, but rebuilding the program a little bit from so many of the departures. It took you guys a minute to figure it out. But as the season went on, did you watch that team grow and mature?
No doubt. I think the easiest way to see our growth was, I think, our offense. I think a lot of guys started to understand, myself included, what we were trying to do, and with just how we, set screens, how we cut, all that stuff. And I think we grew also with maybe not, because the last game didn't go our way, but I think we grew as a team of staying in games and just fighting till the end.
Yeah, lost that last one in St. Louis, I think, by 1 point. I mean, you were right there knocking on the door to get to the next round. You decided to come back. Bruno's coming back, Vorst coming back, Harding, but you lost some big important players as well, both to graduation and to the portal. How have you been able to view the returners so far? And I doubt that any of the newcomers have showed up yet, but just what you see the makeup of the team going forward this year.
Yeah, we actually had a really productive spring session of workouts, and I'm really excited about the guys that are coming back with me. I think it'll be a really good mix of guys who, again, know the offense and know what we're trying to do, and can build the culture that we want to have for next season. And I'm excited to see the guys who we get and come on campus in June. I think we'll have a really good mix of, because that was the thing with last year, was we didn't have really hardly anybody who knew. There was a couple guys who returned, but it was hard for everybody. We were all kind of learning at the same time, but this time it'll be good to have the coaches explaining it and then us kind of helping out.
Who are your basketball influences? Like, you're growing up and you're taking that outside shot and you're yelling Kobe or whatever. Like, who are the guys that you kind of looked up to growing up?
Well, I have two easy answers to that. Obviously, Steph and Clay. I mean, when I was in middle school and high school, was kind of the peak of their run with the Warriors. So watching those dudes, and I mean, still now, like watching Steph play last night and hit the first game against the Rockets, he's just unbelievable. So I'd say those two guys for sure. And then kind of funnily, I was in Missouri. My dad went to Missouri, so I know he didn't play there, but Michael Porter Jr., he committed at least to Missouri. I know he got hurt, but I always kind of liked him after he went through there. I followed him, and I like the way he plays and shoots the ball. He's got a really good looking jump shot.
Yeah, and he's having a pretty good career too. He's he's a guy with, from what I hear anyway, good values as well. I have to ask, Camp, is that your real name? And if so, there's got to be a story behind it.
Yes, sir. That is my real name. And yeah, it's weird because my parents, they get that question all the time, like, where do y'all get that name? And so they actually met at Kanakuk camps, which is like kind of the easy layup answer, but they say that's not where they got it. They just said, well, maybe that's probably where they like heard the word, but they didn't say that's why they named me that. My dad kind of made up an answer for this since he got the question so many times. He called me, named me Camp because to camp means to dwell. And so, like, to dwell with the Lord, I guess. I don't know. That's what he says now.
So he had to come up with a good story just to keep it moving along. We'll go with it. Why not? You wear, I think, number 8. Am I right about that?
Yes, sir.
And so why do you wear number 8? I always want to know why players wear what they wear.
Yeah, so I was actually number 5 for most of my career because in basketball, they never let you wear like 6 through 9 typically.
Right.
And then they just changed that in college. So I decided to make that change. Well, I grew up wearing it, and well, again, the answer is I have 5 siblings and 2 parents, so we're a family of 8. So that's kind of why.
There you go. I
Yeah.
like it. What are you working on specifically? What I mean is, you guys obviously, you've, like as you mentioned, you just finished your spring kind of workouts and all that. But what is Camp Wagner working on personally? What parts of your game do you have to get stronger, more improved for this upcoming season?
Yeah, I'd say the 3 biggest things for me right now is getting stronger, upper body and lower body, and then ball handling. I want to hopefully be able to have the ball in my hands a little more next year and not just be a catch and shoot guy. I know that's always going to be my bread and butter, but I'd love to get on ball a little more. So I'd say strength, ball handling, and then defense for sure, which will probably come with work in the weight room and stuff. But those are the 3 big things for me right now.
Your favorite Missouri Valley Conference arena to play in that isn't in Terre Haute?
That's a good question. I could go a few different ways with this, and not just because I had my best game there, but I liked Belmont because I like a gym that fits like the fandom, I guess. Like I like when if you're not gonna have as many fans. I like when it fills up. If it's only seats like 2,500 or whatever that's at. But it was a really cool gym. It was nice. Looked pretty new. I don't know if it was, but I enjoyed the Belmont gym.
You're pretty open about your faith, and talk about what that's like on the Indiana State campus. Maybe the faith, I don't know, atmosphere in Terre Haute.
Yeah, it's awesome. We got a really good FCA group up here. A lot of athletes. Not to dog on Rice, but coming from Rice, it was definitely a step up in terms of the amount of athletes that were there, and not just showing up just to show up, but really take their faith serious and like truly are following Jesus in their daily lives. So it's been awesome. That's another reason why I really enjoyed it here and decided to come back. That was a big play or piece of that.
Pastor Shan's a good friend of mine as well. So when I was trying to set up this interview, I said, I want to talk to this guy because I have friends that are his friends, and so I wanted to get to know you a little bit better as well. Talk to me about what you think makes Matthew Graves an outstanding head coach. You talked about how he stuck with you and continued to recruit and all of that, but talk about just what makes him the guy you want to play for.
Yeah, I think, like I said earlier, he's definitely a coach that's once he believes in you, he's not going to give up on that belief. I think, and coming with that, he's a amazing players coach. Like, he's such an easy guy to play for. Like, every time I go out on that court, I want to play hard to win games for him because I'm sure you know him really well. He's like the nicest guy. He really is. Like, and that's not just a front. He's like that in the locker room. He's like that at team dinners. He's like that wherever. So those are the 2 biggest things for me. And I'm personally not a guy that needs to be yelled at or anything and cussed out or anything, and he doesn't do that. So that aligns well with me. And the other thing is he's going to tell you the truth no matter what. He's always going to, if you're slouching and not working your hardest, or there's areas of your game that you need to refine, he's going to be honest with you and he's not going to sugarcoat it, but he's also going to deliver it in a way that's not like damaging to you or anything.
So the 3 guys that are coming back with you that I'm aware of, Bruno and Derek and Harding, talk to me about those 3 guys. What do they bring to the table, and what are you expecting from them this coming season?
Yeah, I'm going to add, there's a couple more. There's Jane Walker.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Cooper Bean and Caden Hutlock are also coming back. But yeah, I think with those 4 guys, I think all the guys have a really good opportunity to take a big step forward next year. In both playing time and just overall, I don't know, not skill or anything, but just, I guess, impact on the team. So I'm really excited to see what they do. I know Derek, he was hurt also a lot of this year, so it's hard for him to get in the groove, but I think he can be a really, really good player, as well as Jaywalk and Bruno, obviously. So I'm really excited for that. I think to touch on Jaywalk, I think he has a really good opportunity to be, Coach Johnson said it yesterday, but one of the best 2-way players in the league. I think if he can really lock in on defense, and I mean, we already know what he can do on offense. He can be a really good player.
Yeah, you mentioned Derek, probably injured the last 2 seasons, and yet he would show flashes. You'd look at him and you think he can be an impact player if he can stay on the floor.
Yeah, no doubt. He's actually my roommate, so we're pretty close. And I felt really bad for him throughout the year because he kept coming back, fighting through those injuries, which I have a little experience with, and I know how much that takes its toll. And then he'd come back, and then we'd be practicing, and it's not like he's doing anything either. It's just like he's getting super unlucky. It's just like he's coming down on someone's foot, or it literally has been that every time almost, I think.
So what will your summer look like? Obviously, you guys work through the summer, but what will your summer look beyond basketball workouts?
So spring workouts are over. So I guess my actual summer is going to start here pretty soon. So as far as I'll go home for a few weeks, but yeah, coming back in June, we'll have like a 10 a.m. workout, weights, and then basketball. And then I think we'll probably help out with the kids camp. And then beyond that, I mean, me and Derek will probably be on the golf course quite a bit. But yeah, the summers are pretty slow outside of basketball.
Well, it's amazing how it has all changed. I mean, over the decades, now it's a 12-month-a-year job actually that you guys are a part of. And I did notice that there's so I was trying to dig in and look at some things, and there's some website, I don't know what it is. It's like, well, if I want you to give a promotional comment, I can pay you $10. Or if I want you to do X, I can pay. And I thought, well, this is cool. They ought to have this up for everybody. And maybe they do. I don't know. This NIL world is all new to me. I don't want to get personal into that, but how is the NIL world impacting Indiana State Sycamore players?
I would say, I feel like the intended way that NIL was kind of made was like, well, you can do that where like if you want Camp Wagner, the basketball player, to promote your business, then they can pay you. I'd say there's less of that and more of just like kind of, the direct university paying you pretty much with the collective and all that. And now I guess with the revenue sharing. But for me, I wouldn't say it affects me. I guess it's a blessing, honestly, to have a little extra money, especially in college, to go eat a nicer dinner or, hit the golf course and be able to pay for that round, I guess.
Surely some course will give you free golf.
Yeah. That's why I kind of stopped there because we do get free golf. So.
I was going to say, come on, that's an easy one. I got to make some phone calls if that's not happening.
I know. Shout out Holman Links. That's where we play for free. We might need a few other clubs to hook us up if they're listening.
There you go. Hey, I appreciate your time today. I wanted to get to know you. I know you're going to be an impact player for Indiana State this year and a key cog in all that Coach Graves wants to accomplish there. And like some of the signings I've been seeing, troll across my computer screen as well. So wish you all the best this year.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it was a privilege to come on here, and I appreciate everything you do for the Missouri Valley and all the coverage you give us.
You're very kind. That's Camp Wagner. He's with the Indiana State Sycamores, poised for a big, big season this coming year. You've been watching the Valley Hoops Insider podcast, part of the Valley Hoops Insider website. I'm Harry Schroeder, reminding you, since you've been there, make it a better place. We'll see you again real soon.